I'm absolutely delighted to be able to welcome May Shaw from Vida Shoes to join us today, and she's going to share the stories of the IT transformation that's been going on at Vida. May has been with Vida Shoes for 12 years now, I think May, and she's basically been the IT project manager at the heart of this the IT transformation there. So welcome, May, and thanks for joining us.
Hi everyone.
Cool. So May, Vida Shoes has been in business for a number of years now, since the 70s. And we've got a number of footwear brands, some owned and I think some licensed. Can you tell us a bit more about about Vida Shoes as an organisation and your business model?
Yes, so we are a wholesale shoes company that carries about 15 to 20 brands. Some of them are owned, some of them are licensed, majority of them are licensed. And we have our own designer, we design, we marketing, we manufacture through around the world, and then we sell and distribute to the retailers.
Cool. And you do you have any kind of direct to customer capability, or e-commerce channel, or is it bricks and mortar stores, or is it just through the wholesale?
Yes. So our own brands, we do have e-commerce that we have direct to consumer business. However, we do not have any brick and mortar stores.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So you have multiple data sources, I assume, as well. And
yes.
And I know that you've been on this digital transformation, this modernization transformation program, and it was clearly a priority for Vida. You've been enjoying year-on-year growth for a number of years. Even in 2020, you've continued to see growth in the organisation. Can you give us a bit more detail on why it was so important for Vida Shoes to modernise their IT infrastructure?
Yes, of course. So prior to this big change, we were on this footwear industry specialized ERP system ever since the 70s. It's a very outdated, old ERP system, and our business continued to grow. So we've been considering moving to a new ERP system for years, number of years, probably 5 years, 10 years now. But back in the 17, we have a huge business expansion, and we had a chance to work with Infor Nexus at that time. And then we thought it was a great solution. And that led to the search for the new ERP system about 3 years ago. And then that's when we started the whole journey.
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. And as part of that transformation, you're obviously looking at ERP was the big driver. What were the issues around your existing and legacy, reporting analytics environments that made it challenging to meet the business needs and with that old platform?
So our old platform, first of all, it only provides transactional reporting, and it's very unflexible. So if we were going to do analysis, most of the time we will need to run and download several different reports, and then we piece them together. And furthermore, if we're going to do a large time frame of analysis, then I think one time I've experienced I had to slice it into at least 2 different reports, download them, and then put them back together. And the entire process is just very time consuming. And because of that, you'll have human error. And of course, then what we previously said, we don't have a single source of truth. So everyone, we spend a lot of time discussing whose number is right, definitely. And
yeah.
And then other than that, we also have a lot of reporting that is manually compiled because our ERP system and our GL are 2 separate systems. They don't talk to each other. And then we have all these other third-party applications. So we spend a lot of time cleaning the data.
Yeah. Okay, that makes absolute sense, and it's something that we see a lot of, and that kind of, a lot of organisations are going through digital transformation, and I guess the last year in 2020, I think we've all experienced in our personal and business lives, the need for agility to react to the market, to the business and the challenges that all businesses are faces, and can come around very, very quickly. And having that kind of modern platform and IT infrastructure to help you drive that is clearly important, and it's something that we see a lot of. And Vida shoes were new to Infor when you started looking at some of these technologies. You started looking at with Infor Nexus. So that you could exchange information with your agents electronically, and really move the business forward there. So when you moved forward with modernizing your ERP system with Infor, you also had a look and took the opportunity to look at the BI and analytics platform as well, and I have to say, the Birst platform, the Infor Birst platform, is one of the most powerful platforms out there in the market. It's a key reason why we see lots of customers partnering with Infor. We've got automatic data integration from all the tools out there, whether it be M3 or ERP system or PLM or Nexus, and that automatic integration with BI as well. And all the data, as Brad's been talking about, that kind of single source of truth and that trusted data is so important. This is, I think, the value of this common platform. You're currently running a single tenant cloud M3 platform. You're running multi-tenant PLM platform, Nexus, multi-tenant Birst, all in the cloud. Can you tell us, as part of that journey and that analysis, were you looking at other BI vendors as well?
Yeah, so we actually didn't decide to get on Birst until probably halfway through our implementation. Before that, in our legacy system, I was using Tableau, but it was a standalone solution. It was not integrated to our ERP system at the time. So when we needed to make a decision on the BI in the middle of the implementation, I was just comparing basically Tableau and Birst. I did look into a little Power BI from Microsoft, but I didn't spend too much time on it. So it was just Tableau or Birst, and it was kind of an easy decision because Birst, it's part of the entire Infor CloudSuite, and it's integrated as one solution. So that's how we made this decision.
Okay, and that makes more sense, and that's something that we hear, from a lot of our customers who are moving to Birst and the Infor wider platform. That, as I say, that pre-built integration, that single source of truth, the pre-built content that we haven't touched on yet, that's available with Birst out of the box, the pre-built dashboards and reports focused on fashion. It gives you a great head start. What were the key reasons for modernizing with Birst for you, May?
So I think first I want to share that we just went live about 3 months ago, and we still have a long way to go to working in Birst. But overall, I think a big difference is that Birst is very user-friendly, especially for end user, to do their own self-service analysis. They don't need to understand basically any syntax in order to pull things together. And I think that's very important.
No, and that makes absolute sense, and that's exactly what we see, from our customers, and the value that they're seeing. It's that kind of that ease of use, that the semantic, which basically is driven by the semantic layer that Brad was talking about. The flexibility of that kind of open platform where you get the benefits of all the integration that's pre-built with Infor and the Infor tools, but the ability to integrate your own either on-premise or other cloud-based solutions as well, that across the enterprise into that single data warehouse. All of that just means, and it drives that lower total cost of ownership. That's so important in itself. Reduces the risk that these programs often introduce, and people are nervous around. So that's, it's great. And then it's all there. It's all in the cloud, powered, supported, run on an AWS platform. It's just so simple to deploy. And that's what we hear from our customers. But moving over to Birst, definitely, as you mentioned, moved a lot of that manual processing away from users, so that they can actually get the real information very, very simply and quickly when they need it. You delivered your project, I think, in 3 months, May, and that clearly taken advantage of some of the pre-built content that I just mentioned. Equally, the ability to easily modify the Birst platform and the metrics that and add new metrics into the pre-built content. How is this translated to business value for Vida Shoes? I think you're on mute, May.
Yes, sorry. We don't have any ROI or KPI yet regarding this implementation. I think we're still early to say that. But just in 3 months, we were able to deliver a daily high-level dashboard for our CFO and our other owners to review and look at where their sales position every day. And that creates huge value, and our CFO and owners are all very happy about it. That especially our CFO, he used to have to spend every morning 2-3 hours to run all the reports, even print them out and organize it on his desk in order to get the information. Right now, it's just he log into Birst and then he can see and make decision. Wow. And for other end users, some of them are accepting it very quickly. Some of them, it's more a change management that we're still working on to help them evolve into this new analytics tool.
Right. No, absolutely. And again, that's a common theme, but that is great. I mean, your CFO must be happy. You must be now a favourite, I'm sure. But look, May, thank you very much for sharing your journey with us. Your digital transformation journey. It's great to hear how you're using Birst and analytics to really help drive the incredible growth that you've enjoyed, and support that growth and give you the agility and the visibility into that information, that rich data that you've got across the enterprise. So thank you very much.